While many have aimed to climb them, not everyone is prepared for what they might find at the top. Mountains are some of the more adventurous hikes and thrilling expeditions people can venture on, but that does not mean there are not strange findings waiting to be uncovered. Today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be counting down 3 mysterious mountain discoveries. Hikers find mystery skeleton on remote mountain in California. Back in 2019, 2 hikers stumbled across a rather unpleasant discovery that would soon change the tone of their hiking trip. Hikers Brandon Follin and Tyler Hoffer were hiking across the Sierra Nevada mountain. The 14,000-foot hike is a tourist attraction, bringing in experienced adventurers from throughout America. Though when the pair deviated from their route, about 3 hours away from the peak, they found what appeared to be a human skull between boulders just off of the trail. Follin states, "My first thought was maybe it was a prop or something like you see in a science class. Unfortunately, a closer inspection revealed other bones throughout the clearing, and beneath some boulders, an almost entirely undamaged human skeleton, equipped with what were once leather shoes and a belt. The sun exposure had resulted in a bleaching effect, making the skull appear incredibly white, after what could have been years outside. The pair's first choice of action would have been staying beside the remains, not touching them, and phoning the appropriate authorities. However, being 12 miles into the next day of their trek and 3 hours from the mountain summit, there was no phone service to make the call. Unsure as to the appropriate actions, the pair kept a record of what they had seen, photographing the bones, the skeleton, and only touching one foot to capture a clearer photo. Once they made it to the top of their journey, Follin and Hoffer were able to call 911 and fill them in on the bizarre turn of events. Just days later, the California Highway Patrol helicopters managed to successfully track down and remove the skeletal remains. Following this startling finding, the investigators from the Inyo County Sheriff's Office aimed to identify who this missing hiker was, what exactly prevented them from getting any further than this spot in what has been dubbed the Bowl, and how long they had been there for. The Bowl refers to the last bit of the hike that leads to the top of Mount Williamson. Tinley Trung, an employee at Elevation Sierra Adventure Essentials, completed the hike 2 years prior to this discovery. He explained that the hikers must hop between sharp boulders, that dropping your phone means making peace with it being gone forever, and twisting your ankle means accepting a bitter, painful defeat, or as he said, you're done for. He said all of this is truer if the hiker took a less direct, more remote path, where it is even less likely you could be found or helped. The next stage in this research involved an analysis of the remains. A forensic anthropologist, Alison Galloway, a professor emerita of anthropology at the University of California, Santa Cruz, explained that the timeline for a body to decay to a skeleton is not linear. This is dependent on a number of factors, perhaps most significantly the temperature of the area and the insects in the area. For example, in a warm climate with specific flies, a body could have decayed to a skeleton within just 6 months, whereas a cold environment would preserve the body for longer. Dr. Galloway and other investigators expressed the want for soft tissue to be present, as this, within just a few months, could answer questions about the timeline of the death. Using only bones, however, makes figuring out more specific years a much more difficult process. Other clues could lie within the shoes and belt, as well as the physical remains. New measures like carbon-14 testing can also help answer some questions if soft tissue is not present on the body. Following this, DNA testing from hair, ear bones, or teeth can be correlated to see if there is a match on any existing missing persons reports. So far, no missing persons reports have matched up with the location of the skeleton. The sheriff's office spokeswoman said there was no evidence of foul play. Follin and Hoffer reported a dent in the skull, appearing fractured, and the position of the body indicated that it may have been laid out as if it were buried. They did, however, admit their lack of forensic knowledge. The sheriff's office has denied all of the above, labeling Follin and Hoffer's claims as inaccurate. Despite all the speculation, there are no concrete answers surrounding this mystery skeleton. The hiking trip gone amiss is sure to stick with these young hikers for decades to come. The mysterious holes of Peru. In Peru, there is a strip of holes, an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 of them described as man-sized, forming the Band of Holes, or Monte Sierpe, Serpent Mountain in Spanish. Whilst there has been a great deal of speculation into the purpose and creation of these holes, not much is definitively known. Some have suggested they were storage pits built within the Inca Empire, whilst others have theorized they were graves or places to take defense in battle. The band covers a north to south direction, traveling for 1.5 kilometers. These holes range from 50 to 100 centimeters deep and are each around 1 meter in diameter, a sizing often described as man-sized. Modern researchers have formed many speculations. In 1933, Robert Shippey of National Geographic published a photograph of the area from above. This caught the eye of many, drawing the holes of Peru somewhat into the spotlight. In 1953, Victor Wolfgang von Hagen took over the narration in his writing entitled The Royal Road of the Inca. He called the holes pre-Inca graves, describing the shaking linework to be the curves of a serpent, hence the secondary name Monte Sierpe. On the other hand, the 1984 book The Inca Road System, written by archaeologist John Hislop, describes them as storage possibilities, whilst acknowledging that this is merely speculation. Still, the storage hypothesis, if accurate, would make the Band of Holes one of the Inca Empire's largest storage areas. A more modern suggestion, made in 2015, suggests that the holes could be a form of measurement to record gifts, produce and inventory, particularly those presented as a tribute. These holes could have formed one part of a process that informed official documents. As this idea was formed, archaeologists from UCLA were able to visit the site and capture photographs of the area through the use of a drone. We may never completely determine what these mysterious holes are for, though the more modern explanations are seemingly shifting away from the macabre suggestion of graves. Viking village discovered in the Norwegian mountains. As recently as 2021, a breakthrough dating back to the Viking Age has been made after the remains of a settlement were uncovered on a quiet stretch of mountain. Over the past few years, the Secrets of the Ice project, organised by Inlandet County, has revealed breaking news and headline-worthy findings. This has allowed archaeological sites to be examined and investigated, especially when they are at risk of being damaged, rendering much of the possible research useless as a result of melting glaciers. When glacier archaeologists took to the mountains in 2020, they found a lost mountain pass that was dated back to the Viking Age, though this left us with more questions than it had answered. It is already established that Vikings live by the ocean or the fjord to allow for quick access to the water. When the Lendbreen mountain pass was found, with no written documentation, it raised lots of questions as to how and why it was there. There were plenty of sled, animals and household remains along the path, but still with little information as to why Lendbreen Pass walks away from the water. What use did it have in the Viking Age? The logical way to answer these questions was to simply follow the path. Initial speculation saw ideas such as pastures, farms and long-distance travellers using this pass, though the true discovery was perhaps much more exciting. Lars Pieler reveals that the team made their way to a lost Viking settlement. They moved through summer farms and found paths well worn into the land, from people and animals, though it took an unexpected detour from the expected route as the path progressed. It was Reidar Marstein, a local resident who practiced archaeology as a hobby, who discovered the remains of buildings. Upon the first survey, 21 structures were recorded. Pieler stated that their outer walls were visible as low embankments, and small tests with an auger centrally in the ruins revealed charcoal in the ground, perhaps from hearths. These technical terms, to the layman amongst us, combine to create a classically historical appearance. Small test excavations allowed the team to confirm that it was indeed walls from former houses that had been found. All the time samples placed the structures between 750 and 1150, the near entirety of the Viking Age. The next step in this exciting research opportunity is to continue to explore the area, looking for more answers to the questions we continue to find, hopefully whilst the glaciers remain intact. The mountains can be home to many discoveries, and you never know what you might find. From human remains to the remains of a village to ancient mysteries we have still not figured out, the mountains continue to hide plenty of secrets. But what do you make of these mysterious mountain discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.